So
Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I would really want to see.
I want to see because I think they can do better.
Yeah.
With the same guys, I
Yeah,
don't even
yeah,
have an issue.
absolutely.
I just think they could do better. I think they just try to poop out a show rather than just be like, hey, we have these characters. If we take our time, we can do what we did with Daredevil. We have the actors to do it. We have the stories to do it.
Yeah.
But I think they just like, hey, let's get on the hype because we have to get to Defenders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they just did it very fast, you know?
I think they did with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I really
Okay.
liked Luke Cage. The first season, I thought they got the tone and everything,
Yeah.
the vibe really well.
Yeah.
And a lot of, I think we need a character like Luke Cage.
Yeah.
You know, because there's because I feel that in terms of like representing and diversity and everything
Yeah.
that Marvel's trying to do,
Stop switching characters and just use
Yeah.
characters like Luke Cage.
and
that
Luke
you
Cage
have.
was about that.
Yeah,
that was
right.
his whole thing was
Right.
black empowerment and
Right,
everything, and
right,
and
right.
that's what the whole show was vibing on, and it dealt with Black Lives Matter and everything. And if a character like that was brought back, who
Oh, man.
Mike Coulter,
Yeah.
and they brought back Finn Jones as Iron Fist,
Let's go.
you know, and they gave them the right material and
Yeah.
everything, gave Iron Fist his costume at some,
Yeah.
you know. Come on,
That
dude.
would have been nuts.
Come
dude.
on.
I think the fighting should have been better choreographed for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And then, especially because it's Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But, you know, at this point, I wouldn't even want to see a Luke Cage show or an Iron Fist show. Let's just do Heroes for Hire.
No, that's what I'm
it.
saying. You
Just
can
do
do
Heroes
that
for Hire.
If
That's it.
if you don't even feel comfortable doing a show of Heroes for Hire, a special presentation
Yeah. Oh,
would be
that
great.
would be sick.
You know, like look what they did with Werewolf by Night.
That,
you know,
yeah, and just leave it at that.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
show, just at least
Yeah.
set up that we know what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So like you could set up the Heroes for Hire like little academy that they have. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that they do jobs for hire and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And make a fantastic special presentation, and then just leave us knowing that they're doing that on the street level, right? So,
Yeah.
and you always have them in your back pocket. So if you're
Exactly.
gonna do a Spider-Man like this, we already know. You don't have to like do this intro in the movie or nothing. Like we
Yeah.
know, the fans know who they are. They can be introduced very quickly in the movie. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
But
if
we
they want to
already
know
have
more,
this-
their
watch
shows.
the show.
Their
Watch the show.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And don't make it so that you have to necessarily watch a show, but like you said, a special presentation of
Yeah.
Heroes for Hire. You get an hour just showing like, hey, this is what they're up to now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we just know that's going on.
They could have
And it's okay,
started.
just leave it
yeah,
alone.
They could have
You know what I
started
mean?
the business during the blip.
That's right. That's right. There you go.
You know, you need
Yeah.
heroes then. Like
Yeah.
we're on we're limited supply.
Right, right.
And that's the best time to start business.
Why not?
What-
Why
we're
not?
pitching Heroes for Hire. Right now.
Exactly. No.
And it's not happening.
Yeah, no, and you could even have like certain appearances with Jessica Jones
Yeah.
or Hellcat or whatever.
Hellcat.
You know what I mean?
I know that I think they're introducing White Tiger into Daredevil.
Oh, wow.
Kate Bishop. I would imagine Kate Bishop will be in if they're doing a street level.
Yeah.
Civil War
Right,
for
right, right.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 4. You know, I would imagine someone like her could fit in there. You know, Echo.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? You're talking about representation with Luke Cage and stuff, Echo, and all these other characters,
Yeah.
right? What kind of bothered me was the announcement for Silver Surfer. And
Oh, okay.
How we had, but if you think about it, it's not so much what you think. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily that they had a white woman now playing Silver Surfer, and I
Well,
know
playing a variation on the Silver
an
Surfer.
Earth X variation.
Yes,
that
yes.
is not a mainstay comic.
No, but
Like-
it's not something that's from nothing, though.
No, right.
Right.
I agree. But
Yeah.
but what I didn't like is that that guy Lakeith from Get
Oh,
Out.
Lakeith Stanfield,
Dude, that dude was in the talks to be Norrin Rad.
Oh.
And so then to take it away from a black man who I would be totally down for Norrin Rad. I would lose my mind. He's a great actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd love that.
I would like that
I
too,
would
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I would love, and I feel he has that kind of like
Yeah, that aura.
that
right?
aura where
Have you
he
seen
can-
him on Atlanta?
No, I haven't.
Oh, he's
I haven't.
he's totally got that vibe to him.
Oh man,
That-
I,
as Darius.
I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm like, dude.
I was just wondering, can I measure your tree?
No, not right now.
Not right now. That basically means no, man.
This dude could pull off. I don't know if you've seen, and it's not the best movie, but it's fun. It's that one weird movie.
Oh,
What's
the
it called?
White Voice film
Yes,
where he's
yes. I forgot what it's
What's it called?
Yeah, I forgot something that's weird.
With
in Sanford.
Armie or Hammer.
He's in it. Yeah,
You know the dude who eats people.
that's right. That's right. He's in it. But
Sorry
yeah,
to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. And it's good. It's
Yeah,
good. And,
it's fun.
And his performance, his like range of being able to be weird but serious and kind of have a sort of like humanity towards it,
Yeah.
still by being kind of like
Yeah.
emotionless, you know?
Yeah.
Is it? I think he can do it for Norrin
Yeah.
Rad. That's what we need for Norrin Rad. And to take it away from, I thought, you know, a black dude and then now have a like white woman. It's like it's almost like they didn't know which route to represent. You know, do we go woman?
Yeah.
Do we go black man? Like, what do we do?
Well-
do woman. You know, and then they
Oh shit!
how do we get them not to complain? It's Shalabal. Oh, okay. Like,
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think
Get
this
outta here.
Fantastic Four movie is going to be, I say Elseworlds, but that's DC. But
Yeah.
like, you know, in another universe,
Mm-hmm.
at least that's the impression I'm getting. So they could have Lakeith as the main MCU
Yeah.
Norrin Rad. Like they could have him in the back pocket
This
for that.
this is the thing that bothers me about it though I'm gonna bring it back to the days before the MCU. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you way back. So
Alright,
when I was
alright.
a kid, the thing is we knew studios don't make superhero movies.
Right.
Okay, and so when a movie would come out, all of us, there wasn't like all this big, there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't anything to like kind of like set us up with what's coming and news behind the scenes and reshoots. We had no idea.
Yeah.
We just get a trailer and then we go to the movie theater, right? And so when we go to the movie theater, we're all crossing our hands, our fingers. We're hoping, you know, all the comic book fans are like, man, we hope that this is a good one, you know? And the reason we were hoping is because we knew that this is it. This is what we're gonna have. We're not gonna. It's not like the MCU where now they poop out 5 every year.
Yeah.
Before it was like 5 every decade, if that, right? And so we knew like if this comes out, when I go to school and I say that I love superheroes, people are gonna be like, "Oh, those lame like that from that lame movie. Like you like the Punisher." It's like, no, it's not from a movie, dude. It's from the comics, man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that movie was lame, and it's like, and then they're not gonna make another one because that was lame.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna make another one, right? And so. My thing is that there aren't a lot. I mean, comic book fans are Silver Surfer fans or know who that is, right? But this is going to be the first introduction to the world that, like, on a big stage. Obviously, we got the rise of the Silver Surfer.
I was about to say I think
we got
that's
that.
I think that's probably for that.
Yeah, and we got that, but I don't know. I
think a lot of the
feel like-
fans that are mad about this are mad because they saw that movie back then.
Yeah, but the ones that saw it, right? So, like, if I talk to, like, my tias.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people that like
Hey,
don't,
Tia,
you
that
know?
Silver Surfer, what's up?
You know, they're gonna come to the dinner table and be like, "Oh yeah, so Silver Surfer's a girl," and it's like, no, dude, no, it's not. This is a virgin, and I just don't want to have to like be like, well, no, actually, excuse me. I'd rather just the movie explain to the people that don't know, and that's where it gets me bothered because like. And if this is bad, or if the representation is bad, they're not going to bother seeing the man Silver Surfer version after. They're just going to be like, oh, this sucks, and throw their hands up and not go. Do you know what I mean? Kind
that's-
of like reduces the steam behind it, you know?
Well, that only happens if they're not. Like if they go see the movie,
Yeah.
and they're not paying attention to
Yeah.
what the movie is, or because I think the movie is set in another universe of like,
Yeah.
because obviously the '60s vibe to it,
Right. True.
It wasn't like that during the '60s
Right,
and
right,
the
right.
MCU and everything.
Right.
I think that they're just the movie will say that
Mm-hmm.
that this is another Earth, another world, and then at the end they're probably gonna do an incursion or they're gonna integrate them, and then when it comes time to introduce the real Silver Surfer, it will be Norrin Rad,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and if we're lucky, it will be Lakeith Stanfield and
Yeah,
everything.
I hope so.
You know, because I think I think Marvel knows they can't really mess up with these characters unless they are, you know, variation,
But that-
variants.
But see, that's what worries me, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, why not just stop? Stop. Don't make a variant where you think you can mess up. Just make the version. Just make the good version. Just make it. Just make the good version. You know, I heard that behind the scenes, like, And that's the other thing is like people will think that I'm hating that they're gender swapping or whatever. That's not necessarily what bothers
No,
me.
I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, and
I mean, Silver Surfer is one of your favorite characters.
he's my favorite
for one
character.
thing, yeah.
So I was telling my homie, Blu-ray Angel. I was telling
Right,
Angel.
right,
I was
right.
telling him because he didn't say there was or wasn't a problem with it. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Right.
But I was definitely like venting to him, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What? This is Silver Surfer, bro. This is my favorite like hero across all that. I have my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
DC character, my favorite Turtles character, Masters of the Universe, whatever, Power Ranger, whatever. But my favorite hero out of books, anime, everything, my favorite hero of all time is Silver Surfer, So then they're doing this, and I was trying to kind of make the equivalent to him, and I was like, well, you like Dragon Ball Z, and Goku's your favorite character, right?
Yeah.
So what if the first introduction here, we've had several really bad Dragon Ball movies, right?
to say.
We've had like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
And they're horrible, right? They're
Right.
horrendous. So this technically wouldn't be the first introduction, but
Yeah.
let's say a powerhouse like Disney buys the rights and then puts out Goku, and it's, I don't know, a black woman that is Goku. You know what I mean? And then he was like, no, not Goku. And I was like, see, when it happens to your character, you're not down, dude. And that's like it's so easy to be like, oh, come on, be okay with it. And then so like when you touch your stuff that like, hey, this should be a certain way. I would almost be down with introducing Shalabal as a version of a herald in after. You know what I'm saying? Like we get the powerhouse Silver Surfer. This is Silver Surfer. We're coming in with the budget. We're coming in with the MCU. We're going to show you what Silver Surfer can do. This is the Norrin Rad. And then later we go, oh, there's other versions in other universes. So the more casual fan will be confused later rather than now.
I think
is what I'm saying.
the reason they are doing this is only to excite the fans for when Norrin does show up as the Silver Surfer.
It's not working.
Well, I think it's because there's a lot of identity politics that also goes into this as well. Let's not bullshit. I mean, you mentioned it yourself that some people listening to this will think it's because you hate women, and even though that might be the case, it's no. The thing is, I think what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I think the Fantastic Four movie, the chances are it's gonna actually be pretty good.
I hope so.
The reason I say that is because the Fantastic Four films that have come out, the best one, let me put it this way, the best one is the Roger Corman one.
That didn't come out.
That barely came out.
And that was in the 90s. That was our childhood.
That's what I'm saying, though.
I love
is that they cannot screw up with this one.
Yeah,
it has to be good, and I think they knew casting this, having Silver Surfer be portrayed by this, because the character is the wife of Norrin, right?
Yeah.
Making a change that drastic
Yeah.
is because previous iterations of the actual lore as we know it haven't really worked. And the thing Disney doesn't want to bet on something if it's showing repeatedly
bad
that it's not going to return well. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to make this movie, it's going to be good. They got a really interesting cast so far, and with her specifically, I think she's going to be really cool, and she's going to be really badass to the point that it's going to get us excited to see the 616. Same thing with the Illuminati, right? The Illuminati was on Earth, whatever.
That's true, and we're about to get another Mr. Reed.
Exactly.
What I mean?
So I'm hoping that they know what they're doing. I think they're showing that they're listening by only releasing Deadpool 3 this year. So I'm optimistic about this film, to be honest.
And that's the thing is that the identity politics, I don't think people have a problem with the gender swapping. I think when it feels forced, when it feels like when you feel that the company's doing it on purpose to like get brownie points rather than like, oh, this would be a good direction for the fans and the story or whatever. I think when they feel more the weight of them trying to check a box rather than tell a good story, I think that's when people get pissed. And for example, right now they're talking about remaking and rebooting the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right?
Oh, really? I heard that they dropped that. And they were going to do...
Well, so
okay, go for it.
They did because their main person that they went for was Jenna Ortega. She was in talks.
Oh my gosh.
when it was explained, and she would have been fine, right?
Right.
And
sure.
she herself would have been fine with it. But what I heard, and again, these are all rumors and speculation, but what I heard was that she declined, and a big bag too, once she was told that she was supposed to be replacing the Jack Sparrow, so she was gonna be like the new Jack Sparrow,
Right.
and that's when she was like, "No, I
There's
thought
no
I was
way.
gonna. There's
Yeah.
no way. I thought I was gonna play like an own original character of this universe, but
Yeah.
like a new character." They're like, "No, kind of, but you're supposed to basically be replacing like Johnny Depp's character," and she was like, "I'm not gonna be a part of that." And then I think they asked her for another role too, and she said no too for the same reasons, that it's like, no, I don't want to be part of your identity politics. Like, just
Right.
make an original character and I'll play that character, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to. Like, I don't. Why do I have to be Jack Sparrow? You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to?
I
Like,
I
that's
get
lame.
I get exactly what you're saying. I'm glad she said that,
Yeah,
but at the
yeah.
same time, I don't think that's the case with the Fantastic
Mm-hmm,
Four, because the character that this actor, I don't know her name unfortunately, but
Mm-hmm.
the character that this actress is playing,
She's a great actress, by the way.
she's really good
in
The-
Ozark.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
she's not playing like I think what you're talking about, where it's just really blatant and
Yeah,
cynical,
yeah.
and virtue signaling.
Yeah.
I think that would be the case if this weren't a character from the comics.
Right.
And I think they're just kind of taking character, retrofitting it,
Yeah.
changing it up because it is an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Same deal with, like, getting someone like Pedro as Mr.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like, obviously not the first person you would think.
Right.
But I think that just based on what they've been releasing and how it looks and everything,
Yeah.
and what I've been hearing from the actors,
pretty
especially
cool.
Iban, who's
Yeah.
playing the Thing, which
That's
is
right.
perfect casting.
Perfect casting.
I think
love
they really do care with this film.
Yeah, and then as you're talking about it, I also agree that if we already right off the bat know that it's an alternate universe,
Yeah. It's kind of
maybe
it's forgivable, right?
maybe
Yeah.
don't waste Norrin Rad on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like
Right.
because that's another thing too, is like falling in love with a character. Oh,
Yeah.
but it's an alternate universe. We're never gonna see them again. Sick. That's awesome. That's great. But if it's like, if that's
Yeah.
that's what, like, kind of like what you're saying. Like, we're gonna use the Shalabal Earth X version of Silver Surfer. She becomes a herald. La di da, whatever. But when this Fantastic Four travels to the 616 universe, they might leave Shalabal
if they
behind.
integrate,
Yeah,
yeah.
if they integrate, they might leave her behind in that universe
Yeah.
or whatever. And then the Norrin Rad we meet in this universe is our, like, our
is the
resident
one
Silver Surfer, right? So
Well, what if they meet?
What if they meet?
Because
I mean,
if she has his powers, that
Right.
would presumably mean
that they could.
she shares his fate of his
Right.
planet, or of her
The doom.
planet dying, right?
Dying,
Her
yeah.
husband
Right,
dying and
right, right,
everything.
right.
So
I don't know, because I heard that they wanted to do an intro to Shalabal's character in Deadpool 3, and luckily,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and,
Wow,
like,
interesting.
Yeah, and luckily, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman declined and said we don't want that, and said that they threatened to walk away from all reshoots, which they're having heavy reshoots on.
yeah.
They
Wow.
threatened to walk away from all of them if they're gonna do that.
Wow, interesting.
And then they even had a cameo with Joey Behar from The View,
yeah.
and it like, first off, Ryan was confused about it. These are all rumors, right? And he was like, okay, I guess, like, to
Joy
promote
Behar in
from The View.
Deadpool 3?
In Deadpool 3.
Oh.
She's like, I think the scene was supposed to be she's like interviewing Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
And
On
he's, like,
like the
on
the
The
View.
View or
Oh,
something,
okay.
like some show like
that
that.
could be funny.
Well, I guess the original thing was more of a promotion for The View, and so
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't funny
In the movie.
In the movie,
Oh,
and
wow.
Ryan was saying, "Well, no, I'm down to have Joey Behar. That scene sounds funny, like
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
said. But let's add funny to it. Let's add
Right.
jokes. Let's maybe Deadpool makes fun of her or makes fun of the audience or something like that." Joey Behar didn't want that. Disney didn't want that. And then Ryan was like, okay, well, if we're just going to have a show where I'm just, like, literally just talking to Joey Behar and we're just wasting minutes of the movie, then again, I'm going to have to threaten to walk away from reshoots. They declined. They took out the scene, and now they're not having it. So at least we have someone on our side, the Ryan Reynolds and the Hugh Jackman fighting for it. It's like, hey, we're not going to just put in She-Hulk because you want to just have She-Hulk for 5 minutes. We're not going to have Joey Behar in here for freaking, 10 minutes. We're not going to have, like, Silver Surfer origin story has nothing to do with Deadpool 3. Get out of here. Get out of my face.
For the
You know
record,
what I mean?
I do want to see She-Hulk
I
and
would
meet Deadpool.
Meet Deadpool?
Yes.
Well, they
and
both-
then have sex with Deadpool.
that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
That would be on brand. And not only that, but they both break the fourth wall in the
Yeah.
comics. You know what I mean? They're both. She-Hulk doesn't do it as much, obviously, but
Well, she did it first.
She did do it first.
Yeah,
she was the first
yeah.
to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was off her cover or something.
Yeah,
like that.
her cover, and then to the writer's room and
Right,
everything.
that's right.
And
Yeah,
the
it was-
Disney, you know what she did with Disney Plus and everything.
Yeah, that's
like,
right. That's right.
Like I'm curious how you know.
I'm interested.
You know.
I always thought we were gonna get an intro to Howard the Duck that we never got. See, I'd be interested in a Howard the Duck showing up in Deadpool 3.
I
There
would
we
like
go.
that, and I would also. I think okay, real quick
comments are
before we
gonna get
move on.
crazy. The
Real,
com-
I know.
They're gonna be like Howard the Duck.
What are these guys talking about?
Get that guy off this YouTube, man.
I want Howard to show up in
Yeah.
the Heroes for Hire
Hey,
special.
dude, come on.
He's their client.
Let's go. And then becomes their partner.
Yeah,
Because he
that's
has.
what-
That's how he started. He was his own private eye.
That's what I'm talking
In the original
about.
comics before he
Yeah.
was introduced. I mean, he was always an MCU, but like in the 616.
Right,
but like,
right.
He wasn't interacting with other characters in the first run that he had. You
Yeah.
know? And he was just a private eye detective, kind of like
Duck.
Donald Duck. Yeah, exactly. And he just screwed around. You know.
I want to see it.
I'm down.
I-
I'm down.